And season's greeting for the last time. Today is the last day, and tomorrow we will be marking the beginning of January 1st, 2026. To everybody who have made it so far, congratulations. And to us who have lost our loved ones, I commiserate. Our hearts goes out to every one of you. Now, today we won't be having discussions on this issues or these stories for the morning. Rather, we will be taking reactions on social media, and maybe I can chip in one or two as your anchor. My name is Ifoma Oji, and you're welcome to the show. Let's begin. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has insisted that Nigerians' new tax regime will commence on January 1st, 2026, that is tomorrow, despite growing controversy over alleged altercations to the tax laws after they were passed by the National Assembly. Now, the presidency said there is no substantial issue that should delay implementation, describing the reforms as critical to Nigeria's economic survival. But critics disagree, arguing that process matters just as much as policy, and that any law perceived to have been altered outside legislative approval raises serious constitutional concerns, now at a time when Nigerians are already grappling with rising living costs. The question is not about revenue generation. It is about trust, transparency, and timing. Can a major tax overhaul succeed without broad public confidence? Now, we remember earlier on this year or late this year, the president made it clear that he will be signing a new tax into law by 2026. And we saw a few weeks ago where I think that should be a member of the National Assembly came out in the, during plenary to say that they've been miscommunication in the tax law that was gazetted earlier, or that was sent to the presidency for assenting. And I remember this garnered a lot of reactions on social media, with people questioning, where is the accountability, where is democracy, why is the presidency not clearing Nigeria, why is it that the National Assembly has to work on the bill, discuss on the bill, and at the end of the day, when it's being sent to the executives, it was altered. So, and I think at the end of the day, the National Assembly said they were going to investigate. But we're seeing right now that the presidency has said that no matter the altercation, that it's not substantial enough to change or rather suspend the new tax law implementation. And that's what we are seeing. So by tomorrow, not even next, by tomorrow, he will be implementing the new tax reform. Now, let's move over to our second story for today, which is in a dramatic turn. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, alongside his wife and son, has been remanded in Kuje Correctional Center over alleged money laundering offenses involving billions of naira. The accused have pleaded not guilty, but will spend the next year in custody as the court considers their bail applications. Now, this case has drawn widespread attention, not only because of the sums involved, but because of who Malami once was, which is Nigeria's chief law officer, tasked with defending the rule of law. Now, for many Nigerians, this is a test of whether the fight against corruption truly spares no one. And not just that, could justice that must be is justice carefully balanced. The court has also halted granting him bail. I would love us to take a look at the court proceedings before we return back to the studio.
Please, hello, please.
Now, that was the former attorney general that was denied bail, and a lot of people are asking, why is he smiling? I'm going to take reactions from social media, that is Instagram, and I'm just going to read. He's smiling, no remorse, by the indomitable force. Now, Aram Hughes said, I'm sure there is a luxury arm in Kuje waiting for him. There's another person here, and Nick Berry underscore Berry says, see as them they treat him like big man. Now, somebody underscore like Jamit said, remind him in Omaha Correctional Facility. Now, another person, MC Tiny Man, says, they forget they will lose power one day. It go touch everybody, even weak time go reach. Now, there was another person that I would love to take his comment, because this has garnered a lot of reactions on social media. Now, another person said, which is Mickey Slim too, says, let them cough out that money and make sure it's a real prison, not some 10-bedroom room mansion with well-equipped high-sense air conditioner. Well said. Another person said they would have taken swimming lessons. Benitemi said, after all, people wey thief goats, they deal. Another person there. Now, these are the pulse of Nigerians reacting to the former Attorney General being denied bail. And I'm just going to, make quick comments. Under the Nigerian constitutions, or under the laws governing Nigeria and governing other nations at large, it is said that nobody is above the law, that everybody is equal to the law, and as such nobody should be treated differently, nobody should be given preference, nobody should be given preferential treatment. And that is what we are seeing now. But at the same time, just like the pulse of Nigerians are commenting that this shouldn't be just a luxury outlook, it shouldn't just be a 10-bedroom apartment where they will hold them hostage and call it detention or call it prison. It should actually be an actual prison where every other person that have actually done mini crimes, committed mini crimes or menial crimes, are actually apprehended, or what is it called, left in custody or kept in custody. But I'll take more stories. Now, meanwhile, we'll bring you updates on the recent public humiliation of the cousin of Godwin Obaseki, former governor of Edo State in Benin City. Now, the Obaseki family has condemned what it describes as a barbaric murder attack on their son, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, following allegations that he disrespected the Oba of Benin. And the family insists it respects the traditional institution, but says nothing justifies public assault, humiliation, or jungle justice. And now they are backing legal actions against those responsible. Now, this incident has reignited a national debate about limits of cultural authority and the dangers of mob action in a constitutional democracy. Now, when grievances arise, cultural or otherwise, who enforces justice? Is it the law or the crowd? Now, I remember that should be, is it 2 days or 3 days, Don Pedro Obaseki was humiliated publicly because of the fact that he went to London, and when he was making his speech, after making speech, he said, long live the people of Edo State, and not long live the king of Edo State. That is in their language in Benin City, Obatope, Obatope, something like that. I don't know if I got it correctly. But after his return from London, we saw mobs and thugs who apprehended him and humiliated him, stripped him to his boxers in public, and he was taken to the palace of the king of Benin City, where the chief, I think that should be the palace, what's it called, guards and the palace chiefs came out to condemn the act and ask them to release the man. But at the same time, I am just going to make a little comment on what just happened, because I really do not understand why Nigerians have resorted to, jungle justice. This is not even a crime substantial enough for him to, be humiliated, leveled to such act. And not just that, this is somebody that have contributed to Nigeria's economy at large. I guess he is a film producer and filmmaker, and he has contributed even to Edo City, Edo State at large. He shouldn't be somebody that should be treated in such manner. It is quite sad, and I think that this level, these people that were involved, or these people that are culpable, because we could clearly see their videos, their imprints on social media, they should be apprehended. Yes, the governor of Edo State, or rather the palace, have already denied that they've exempted themselves, that they weren't involved in whatever happened. But I think the exemption doesn't cut it. Even though that they've exempted themselves, it doesn't cut it. We should see arrest of those people that are culpable, because we could clearly see their videos on the screen. But that is all for that story. We'll see how that improves, or we'll keep you updated on more stories. Now to our fourth or third story for the day. There has been widespread outrage in Kwara State following the circulation of a video showing a group of men physically attacking women who were protesting repeated terrorist attacks in their community. Now in the video, which has gone viral on social media, the women are seen peacefully demonstrating over what they described as persistent insecurity, killings, and fear caused by terrorist activities, when they were confronted by men who reportedly disrupted the protest and assaulted some of the women. Now, the footage has sparked strong reactions online, with many Nigerians condemning the attack and describing it as an assault on citizens' right to peaceful protests and a reflection of growing frustration over insecurity in the parts of the country. Now, civil society groups and social media users have called on security agencies and the Kwara State government to immediately investigate the incident, identify those responsible, and ensure they are brought to justice. Now, critics say the attack highlights not only the worsening security situation, but also the shrinking civic space, where citizens raising legitimate concerns are met with violence instead of protection. And as of the time of this report, the government of Kwara State has issued a statement distancing itself and condemning the act. Let's take a look at the video. I think this was quite distressing to see. My heart goes out to the women. Now, these constant attacks in Kwara State, Jesus Christ, I don't know when it's going to stop. And that is why we are seeing the women of Kwara State stepping out in their numbers to protest against the consistent terrorist attack in Kwara State. I'm sorry that this is getting me emotional, but I'll just take some reactions on social media. Now, Olu Elite says, "This is heartbreaking and painful to watch. These are mothers, sisters, and daughters crying out for help, not criminals. Now, violence should never be the response to peaceful protest. Our leaders must protect, not silence pain." I think that was quite apt. Another person said, "Please vote Tinubu for another 8 years. He will fix insecurity." MC underscore reborn said, "Who brought the thugs that flogged them while the police watched? You know better." Now, another person said, Mayor Kin 75 said, "Una vote APC now." Another person here says, "You're saying they voted APC. How did you know they voted APC? Instead of us holding the government accountable collectively, now we have to feel like the suffering of those who voted APC is a win for us. I pray one day we can treat ourselves like human that we are in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria." And another person said, "Damn, what a shame. A policeman was actually there. What a shame." Now, another person said, "Asiwaju is a Yoruba man's, it is a Yoruba man's turn." And I'll take the last comment here. Said, "A policeman was there. He saw everything, yet he didn't do anything. When they call us country of particular concern, many people were angered. When they called Nigeria an animal republic, people were annoyed. These are the reason why they gave us those bad labels." I'll take this last one. Sorry, guys. He said, "Imagine a police officer standing there doing nothing to help these people. They can cry to government, and government treating them this way in front of government house is weird." Yes, it is quite weird. It is quite sad that peaceful protesters, because you could see clearly that these women were unarmed, they were crying. So we are saying that her husband was kidnapped, that their children are kidnapped, that their household are kidnapped, and that they need the government intervention. And why they were crying in the public, close to that should be an office of the governor of Kwara State, we are seeing mobs, we are seeing thugs harassing them, we're seeing thugs beating them. Why are you beating people that are unarmed? Why are you beating people that are aggrieved, people that are in pain? Come on, when are we going to learn to feel empathy? When are we going to have human conscience? And it is quite appalling and disheartening that there was a security agent, or maybe agencies, present in that. I saw one of them and he was just standing there staring and watching the whole thing, and I'm like, what exactly is your rule? What exactly is your work? What's your job? What were you paid to do? Is it not to protect people? Why are you standing there? Why are you leaving those women who are aggrieved in more pain? It is quite sad and disheartening to see. And the president, I said the president, the government of Kwara State has actually exempted themselves from that particular incident that happens. But just like I said in the early video of Don Pedro Abaseki's humiliation, I say that the government alienating themselves from such an act is the same thing that we are seeing here, that it shouldn't cut it. It's not supposed to cut it, that we need to see those people because their faces were displayed on our screens. We need to see the security agencies investigate into this matter, apprehend those people, prosecute them, and make sure that they are being brought to book. Same thing goes to these Kwara State thugs that were harassing and beating the people that were protesting peacefully. It is every citizen's right under the Constitution to protest peacefully against something that is not going that's something that is going wrong in the government, or even to openly criticize the government. It is at the confines of their rights, and they shouldn't be treated in such manners. And I just remembered one comment that somebody said, that you see the reason why the president of United States of America designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. This is the case. You see a situation whereby people call us a zoo country. This is the case where justice cannot be seen, where justice is delayed and denied, where people are meant to take up laws into their hands instead of tolling the path of the law as it's supposed to be in a lawful country. But I think this is where we are going to call it a wrap. Let me equally bring to your notice that I saw on the news that there is speculation that the former governor of Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi, will be defecting to ADC. Now, this is yet to be confirmed. I saw on Punch newspaper today that he will be attending the defection, that he will be giving the ticket in Enugu State. And a lot of people are asking, why is it Enugu State? I think Punch equally reported, rather Vanguard reported, that it's because Enugu is the center of the East, and that is why we are seeing him going to Enugu State to attend the ticket. But like I said, this is not official yet. It's still speculations, it's still rumors. We're yet to see the party that he will be defecting to, and he has made it clear that he will be running for 2027 elections, but we're yet to determine the party that he will be joining as against his run for 2027. But this is where we're going to call it a wrap on the morning pulse right here on Active Citizens. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. If you're yet to comment, please do that now. I would love to have your opinions on the stories that just broke this morning, broke the headlines this morning. Your take on that, I will appreciate. And I would love you to share our videos, like, comment, all this good stuff. We see you, we love you, and we appreciate you. And now, as we tilt towards 2026, I am wishing everybody a blissful 2026, and I pray that those things that you encountered, those bad, good, and the terrible that you encountered in 2025, that the bad will be left behind and will shove out the good. And I pray that 2026 will be a remarkable year for everyone in Nigeria and beyond Nigeria. But this is where I am going to call it a wrap. Like I said earlier, my name is Ifoma Oji, your host for the morning. Do have a wonderful morning.